In a shocking turn of events,
Okay, let me know if you guys can't hear.
that absolutely nobody saw coming, except for literally everyone, Anthropic just dropped what might be their most game-changing tool since Claude Code. Claude Design, a new Opus 4.7 powered platform that turns your half-baked Figma designs into actual prototypes, pitch decks, and production-ready UIs, without the need to ever open a single design tool. The Figma stock dropped 7% within hours of the announcement. Longtime Adobe executives are just giving up and jumping out of high-rise windows. Every AI design startup just lost funding, and LinkedIn could barely keep its servers running because every junior UI designer was forced to do what every programmer had to do in 2023, update their job title to prompt engineer. In today's video, we'll look at all the crazy things Claude Design can do and find out if this is the final nail in the coffin for human-led UI UX design. It is April 21st, 2026, and you're watching the Code Report. Claude Design is built on Anthropic's brand new flagship model, Opus 4.7, which was just released last week and is allegedly more tasteful and creative than its predecessor, which is just corporate speak for we finally taught it that not everything needs a purple gradient. The new model can now see images at 3.75 megapixels, which is huge for design work because it can now understand images up to 2,576 pixels on the long edge. Then for programming, it hit 87.6% on the software engineering benchmark, which crushes Opus 4.6, but still falls behind the mysterious Mythos model. Despite these impressive Trust Me Bro benchmark results, a pretty loud group of people on the internet are not happy and say Opus 4.7 is actually a regression. There's even a conspiracy theory that they intentionally nerfed 4.6 over the last few months to make 4.7 feel smarter on the release date. Now, even though I believe in every conspiracy I've ever heard, I'm not so sure about this one because these demos are straight up off the chain. It's similar to Google Stitch, which I made a video about a few weeks ago. Claude Design can easily put together a basic UI for you, but when it comes to interactivity, Claude pulls way ahead. You notice all these demos are fully interactive, they've got working animations out of the box, and we can tweak all these sliders to get different results. In addition, it can give you a bunch of variations about how an animation should actually look. Like you might try out a bunch of different animations for a chat app, or you could have it swap out 100 different loading spinners to choose the one that fits best for your next failed side project. It can also produce these crazy futuristic animations by doing something that terrifies every web developer, and that of course is working with shaders. And this thing might even make video editors obsolete because it can even produce full-length video animations over a minute long. Impressive, but the problem is that these are all cherry-picked pre-built demos. Let's find out if Claude Design is actually good by building something ourselves. Before you start building something though, you might already have your own design system in place. And like Google Stitch, you can upload a design system, which will force it to maintain consistency between designs. The cool thing about Claude is that you can upload that design system by linking a GitHub repo, or you can even upload a Figma file directly. And that's actually awesome if you're a designer, because in theory, it means you only have to design a couple screens, then give Claude your Figma file, and it designs the other 100 screens for you. Now, I actually have my design system already set up as a PDF file, which I'll go ahead and upload. Then I'll prompt Claude to build us an iOS onboarding flow for Horse Tinder. And now we just wait. And wait and wait and wait. Opus 4.7 is a lot slower than Google Stitch, Codex, or Cursor Composer, but at least it's still 1,000 times faster than a human. But eventually, it brings us to this canvas with 5 beautifully designed screens. Now, beautiful might be a bit of an exaggeration here, but it is a good starting point. One issue though is that it didn't use my design system, even though it's recognized here in the chat output. It looks a lot more Claude-y than Fireshippy. We can just ignore that though, because another issue is that the Horse Tinder logo is all washed out. Well, another nice feature in Claude Design is that we can actually draw and comment on this canvas. Like, I can just draw an arrow directly to this crappy logo, and then either comment it, or just add a new prompt to fix it. Then 5 to 10 minutes later, it's magically fixed. Well, actually, wait a minute. It appears it didn't fix it, it just changed the background color a little bit. That's too bad, and I guess we'll have to wait for Opus 4.8 to come out before we can finally finish Horse Tinder. But the one thing we can continue working on is the backend, using awesome tools like Google Cloud Run, the sponsor of today's video. It's a fully managed serverless platform that lets you run code on Google's world-class infrastructure with zero overhead. You can use any language or framework to run front-end and back-end services, batch jobs, or even host fine-tuned LLMs with GPUs, then deploy straight from your terminal or Claude Code with a single command, or set up continuous deployment from GitHub. You can also use Google AI Studio as a full-stack development environment where you can vibe code a complete React or Node.js app, then deploy to Cloud Run with a single click. The best part is that it scales to zero, so idle projects don't cost you anything, and it auto-scales to handle traffic spikes without any manual intervention. It also gives you 2 million free requests per month, so go try it out for free today at cloud.run. This has been the Code Report. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
Uh, let's get started. Welcome, everyone. I will share the link in the chat. Here is, hi, Kaden. So here is the GitHub link. Let me start live share. Here is the live share link. So whatever you guys choose. And yeah, like the Fireship video says, I personally don't recommend that you guys pursue like web dev jobs or stuff like that. Just because I feel like they're the most replaceable by AI. But this is my personal opinion. Anyways, let me show you guys, especially people who weren't here last week. Let me show you guys what we will do for this project. Okay, so this project 10 is going to be about Pong versus AI. Actually, let me share my whole screen. Okay, so it's basically Pong versus AI. If you guys don't know, Pong is one of the first games on a console or a machine. And it's basically a paddle on the left or the right, moving up and down with one ball going from side to side. So it's like table tennis, ping pong. So if I run it right now to show you guys, let me look my terminal. Where's AI? Wait for the virtual environment. And here you go. Basically, this is going to be the AI side, and then this is going to be us. And you can move our thing up and down. But yeah, this is Pong versus AI. And main, I believe, is where we train our AI. So if I run it, so you guys can see the episodes, so how many runs of training we're doing, the current number of hits. So we're just counting up whenever we hit, like the ball hits the paddle. And remember, the paddle is just the AI right now. So it's currently training and seeing how much it can hit the ball. And you guys can see the current hits and then the best streak. So you'll see that as time goes by, it'll learn and maybe it'll beat the 7 record sometime. Anyways, exploration. So this is epsilon or exploration. So it's basically the, what do you call it? It's the variable representing the percentage. So here 0.01 represents 1%. It's 1% that this paddle will not rely on this memory. So it's past learning experience and trying something new. So this is so that we don't stick to one option and we can, if there's a better option than what's currently working, we want to explore that instead of only relying on this semi-optimal solution. And memory size basically represents how much memory we have used. So it's like remembering the past experience or learning training. But yeah, once it's, you guys can see in the CLI as well, the episodes, best streak, you guys should see the best streaks going up as episodes go up, as well as the memory going up. Now, after training, we didn't end it right now, but after training, it should create a save model. And the save model is where we pull it up. So it's this one, Pong underscore AI PKL. It's the type of file that we need for the trained AI model. And that is used inside Playverse AI. So these are the two main executables. PongGame.py is basically just our class. Let me lower this for you guys. It's basically just this Pong game class, and it represents our game, so the UI, whereas AI underscore brain represents the Q-learning agent class, so the learning agent that we train. We'll start with Pong game. So we did init, and we'll continue with reset. Any questions? If not, let me enable share. And let's go, Adam. Can you share your screen when you're ready? And we'll start with ponggame.py.
Okay.
Thank you. And Albert, be ready, and you'll be next. So yeah, just be ready. Adam, are you connecting to the live share or the GitHub? Or maybe while we wait for Adam, Albert, do you want to go ahead and share your screen? And then Adam can go next when he's ready. Thank you. You can delete the or exit the release notes. Yep, so we'll do reset. So it's basically resetting the pedal on every like game start or game loss. Yeah, you can delete the pass. So we'll do self.pedal underscore y equals self.height. And then that's double slash is the integer division. So like 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, but since it's integer division, it'll just be 1. So it just floors it. Delete the minus 30. We don't need it. Yep. And then enter. And we'll do self dot ball underscore x equals with, yep, divided by integer division by 2. And also know that we're doing self because we want it so that these variables can be accessed in these other methods in that same class. Next, we want to do self.ball y equals random.randint from 20 to, yep, actually, we'll do from 50 to self.height minus 50. Yep, and the left one too. So the bounds. Yeah. So the max bound is 50. Actually, lowest is 50, max is self.height minus 50. Enter. And we'll do self.ball dx equals, yep, that was good. And then dy. But dy will make it minus 6. So delete both minus 5 and 5. So minus 6, minus 4, comma 4, comma 6. Yep. So dx basically is calculus or pre-calc, I don't know, is basically the rate of change. So how much do we want the value of x to change on every like second? And it's basically a random choice between minus 5 and 5. And dy basically represents the same thing, but for y values. So it's given a choice between minus 6, minus 4, 4, and 6. And yeah, you can stop sharing. And Adam, can you start sharing your screen when you're ready? And after Adam, Caden, you'll go next. So Caden, just, yeah, be ready. And Adam, you're gonna need the Pong underscore game.py. I mean, you need the whole folder, but for now, you can just do that. Do you have edit access in GitHub? Can you type the top right button? Right. It's gonna be the pencil. So you see the raw copy download on the right under history. Or actually, did you already click? Anyways, just go down and then, yep. So you can do we need gets probably pull a thunder. Okay, get state is fine. We can do render. So delete pass. So you guys can just read the get state. Yeah, I don't think you have edit access. Uh, you want to just copy it or download it? It's in the top right, the buttons. Right, right, right. Do you see yeah, that one? Download or copy. Up to you. Arm your device. Keep. I don't know why you have that error, but whatever. So you can open file or go to folder and then open with Visual Studio Code or because I think it opens up Pi Charlie's here. Did it open it up? You might have to reshare your
Open which one?
the ponggame.py that you just downloaded.
It asked me to select an app.
Oh, I can't see it, but does it say Visual Studio Code?
No,
Does it say Python something?
no.
What does it say?
Notepad.
Oh, so you see more at the bottom, or
No.
select the application. You don't see it? Then you can just do Notepad. Last resort, you can just do Notepad.
It's a notepad.
You might have to Okay, maybe you have to just select that from Microsoft Store, but whatever, you can just reshare the screen. But yeah, okay, render. So delete the pass. Is there a reason you can't do you didn't didn't you have Visual Studio Code? Did
No.
something happen? Whatever, you might have to re-download it or get another IDE. But yeah, delete the pass. Oh, delete the render. So you'll do if not self.visual, then colon, so dot like yeah, and then return. You can do it on the same line. This is fine because we're only doing the if, and we only have a one line return. Tab it. Next line tab. Next line, yeah, tab. For delete the no indent. So still in the same line as if. No, no, no. Like next line, tab, delete one. Yeah, for yeah, okay. For event in pygame.event.get, pygame.event.get, and that's a function. So circle bracket, and then you might have to do closing bracket. Yeah, and then colon. No argument. Next line, tab, if event dot type equals pygame dot all caps quit, and that's a function. So I mean, never mind. That's a variable. You don't need the colon pygame dot quit. Pygame dot quit function. So it's a separate one. No. That one's fine. That one's fine. You just have to do that was a variable. Now it's a function. Yeah. Quit. Lowercase. Yeah. Next line, exit. In the same thing as Pygame. Exit function. So it's a circle. Yeah. Next line, same line as for loop. Self.screen.fill. Open two circle brackets. Yep. Inside the inner circle bracket, do 20, comma 20, comma 30. So this is the RGB color that we want to fill the screen with. Next line. Actually, yeah. Let's stop here. That's it. You can stop sharing. And Caden, you can start sharing. And Charlie, you'll be next. So just be ready. And yeah. hit and share whenever you're ready. And we'll continue with render. And let me, yep, yeah. Render, here it is. Okay. So you can continue off where he left off. So he did the self.screen.fill. So next line. You want to do pygame.draw.rect. So we're drawing a rectangle. Yep, dot draw dot rect. And then that's a function. We pass in self.screen, comma, the color that we want, which is 25, 25, 25. I mean, 255, which is all black. And then comma, we need another tuple, and it's going to be 380. Comma, self.pedal underscore y, comma 10, comma 60. Good job. Next line. Pygame.draw.circle. Circle bracket. Self.screen. Comma. We want a tuple 0, comma 255, comma 127. Close it, comma, another tuple, and we want it int function, and we pass in the self.ball underscore x, comma, same thing for ball underscore y. And then where that AI recommends a 10, you do 6. Not there. 1 to the right. Yep. Good job. Next line. If stats colon, enter next line, y underscore offset equals 10. Enter. For key comma value in stats.items, it's a function, and then you do colon. Times two. And you can just tab this. So it's good. This is pretty redundant. Yep, and then you want to do pygame.display.flip. You want to do it in the same line as if stats. And yeah, that's it. You can stop sharing. So basically what we did is this Pong game, and let me explain that render function. So we're basically rendering just the UI. So here's the screen, here's the rectangle, so it's the paddle. Here's the circle, which is the ball. And we're showing the stats. This is what you saw, like the episode, epsilon, memory, and the streaks. And we're basically printing it from the stats dictionary. as you guys can see, if you hover on it, okay, it doesn't say what it is, but yeah. Anyways, you draw text. It's the key value, which is a key would be like the memory title or best streak, current streak, etc. And value would be like 1, 2, 3, 7, best streak is 7, etc. This is the color of the text, as well as we're choosing a font. And yeah, get state basically gets the state, so the current ball location. Reset resets the ball location as well as the paddle location after a loss. Init function basically initializes uh, all the classes, methods, and I mean the variables. Step basically simulates 1 second or like one step. So basically applying the DX UI, giving it a reward. Are we done? If it's done, then we want to exit, etc. And another thing, when you guys do items, is a useful function. Basically, when you guys iterate through dictionaries, you guys always want to do like, say something you have like stat equals dictionary, and you have one, something like that. You guys will always iterate through it like this key value. Something like that, print. Something like this. But yeah, it's useful because when you guys get into, I don't know if you guys will still use LeetCode in like 5 years, but it's useful for LeetCode because of hash maps, which are all of one lookup time. I don't know if you guys understand what that means, but it basically means it only takes one try or yeah, one try to look into a list to find out where it is. Anyways, running Pong game. Actually, we can't run it because it's a class. So next we'll do AI brain. So we'll do this. I'll do this. Okay. And I believe I told Charlie was next, I think. So Charlie, if you can share your screen. And after Charlie, James, can you share your screen or are you working on stuff? After Charlie. Okay. Then yeah, just be prepared. You're gonna do it after Charlie. Charlie, you can do AI brain. So as you can see, it's a Q-learning agent class. So you're gonna implement the init function, which basically initializes the internal variables. Actually, you only need one variable. So you're going to do self.qtable equals a dictionary. Qtable, you can do, yeah, you can do that as well. And curly bracket is the dictionary. Yep, that's it. You can do get q values as well. The next function. So one thing you can notice is that in the init function, you can see we only the init function only has one argument, right? The self. That means that when a user creates or instantiates the Q-learning agent, then the user doesn't pass in any arguments. So if the user doesn't pass any arguments in, then you wouldn't like initialize any variables in the init function, right? But we do initialize one, which is QTable, and that's just a value that we're creating because we want to actually have something to start off with when we create this Q-learning agent. If you guys were wondering. But yeah, get Q values, if you read the comments, you're basically checking if the current state is actually already in our memory. And if it is, then we want to remember what. So we're basically imagine that you're this Q-learning agent or this AI trying to learn ping pong, and you want to check if there's a memory of this exact current state that you are handling right now. Then you want to remember what it actually did and then do the same steps, right? So you would do, yeah, if state not in self.qtable. So right now we're checking if there's a memory. If there is not, then we want to create it, right? So do self.qtable. So yeah, you have the right idea, but when you add to a dictionary, there's a specific way you have to do it. And the way is self.qtable, and you want to do a square bracket instead of a dot. And dictionaries are the only, actually, no, it isn't. Whatever. Square bracket, and you put in the state, exit the square bracket, equals, and you put the value that you want to put in, which is 0, 0.0, comma 0, 0.0, comma 0, 0.0. And why is this 0, 0.0? It's basically just, oh yeah, it just says there, right? In the comments, if the state is new, you want to just create a list of 3 zeros for the 3 possible moves, up, down, and stay. And you want to return it. Return the currently added state. No, you want to add like self.qtable state. Yeah. So we're basically wanting the state's value. Uh, you can also do choose actions, also really quick. If random.random, actually, let me read the comments. Basically, you're just generating a random number to decide between the exploring and exploiting. So this is what I was talking about, right? The epsilon variable. So it basically represents at what percentage chance do you want to make a new move that you never made before. So yeah, you want to do random.random function is less than epsilon. Then you want to do return random.random 0, 2. Else return np.argmax function, and we pass in get q values, and we pass in next state or current state, just state. Yeah. So basically, if so random.random generates something between 0 and 1, so any float. So if this is less than epsilon, then it basically has an epsilon chance of making this random decision. And the random decision is basically random.random. Whereas if it is not epsilon, then we want to just make the best possible choice between the Q values that we get from the state. You can stop sharing. Yep. Okay. James, can you share your screen? And we'll start with learn function. Whenever you're ready. Okay, so learn. Basically, you're gonna let's read the comments. So you want to look up the current knowledge, so the Q values, and you want to look up the knowledge for the state that the ball moved into the next. And you want to define the variables, learning rate, discount factor. Strike is back into. Okay. And then you want to find the best possible value, which we can get in the next state. And you want to use the Q value formula. Okay. So yeah, you deleted the pass, so we can get started. Q values equals self dot get Q values, and we pass in the state. Next line. Next Q values. Next Q values. Or you can do Q values underscore next or equals self dot get Q values, and we pass in the next state. Alpha equals 0.2. Gamma equals 0.9. Yep, you could do that too. That's a good. Or you can do it 2 lines, but that way's better just because it's one-liner. Basically, alpha represents the learning rate and gamma represents the discount factor. And you guys can see in the comments what it means. Learning rate is basically how much we want to trust a new info, and discount factor is how much we want to care about future rewards. So discount factor is actually kind of important when you guys train AI because like if you guys put discount factor too high, then it will only look at what your next Q value is. Whereas in some cases, you want to look at like 10 moves ahead and see what the best possible move is. Okay. Best underscore feature underscore Q. So best feature Q value is max function, and we pass in next Q values. Next line, we want to do Q values, and that's the dictionary. So you want to access the dictionary's action. So square bracket action. Right side plus equals. So now we're doing the Q learning formula. So the formula is Q values action plus equals alpha times circle bracket reward plus gamma times best underscore feature underscore Q. Minus Q values square bracket action. Yep, that's good. And yeah, that's great. One thing, can you go to the terminal? I want to see if it works on you guys. Just type in it. You can do like clear, enter. Oh, maybe you can't. Okay. But yeah, you can stop sharing. I just wanted to see. I didn't name who was going after me. Yeah, I can do it. James is gone. Jordan, can you share your screen? Up to you. But let me know if you guys can't share your screen or don't wanna. Jordan, can you share your screen? If not, Nicholas, can you share your screen? Or Liam, can you share your screen? Okay. Liam sharing right now. Thank you. Nicholas, you can do next. I'll send the link again. So Nicholas, this is for the iShare. Oh my. And this is for GitHub. Anyways, Liam, can you... So we have to do save model. Yeah, maybe delete it and then we can do it again. I think you're in the solutions one, right? I'm not sure. Oh, you did it last week. Oh, we already did this. Oh, you already did it. Okay. Then I'll just explain it. Basically, save model in Python, when you guys want to open a full file or something, didn't we? Oh, where did it? I don't remember. I don't write down what we already did, but yeah. Basically, save model in Python when you guys open up a file or delete a file, etc. You guys basically have to do with open and you pass in the file name. So you guys, this will be the pwd. So if Liam types in this terminal pwd, it will print out his current location in his file directory, pwd. Yeah, so it basically prints out C drive, in the C drive users folder, inside the users folder, liamd folder. That's basically where it is. But yeah, this is the file name. And onto the right side is the string defining the writing permissions. So basically W means write. I don't know what B means. And then so this is the open function. And then whatever file you open, you can create an acronym for it. So in this case, we do it as F. So now when we refer to this file, you just do F. And yeah, I think I remember talking about this. Anyways, pickle.dump is basically a library for opening and saving AI models. But yeah, pickle.dump, dump function you'll see a lot. Like JSON library also has a dump function. Basically, it just means dumping some variables or data into a file. So it basically puts self.qtable inside the file F, and then you just print it. Load model does the exact opposite. You do with open file name, and R represents read file permissions, and you do as F. In this one, you do self.qtable and you define it as whatever you load from pickle. And load is also common function in JSON as well. You just do load and then pass in the file. And we encapsulate this in try and accept. So try and accept, I've talked about this as well, right? You basically wrap your whatever code you do in try, and then whenever you want to handle a specific error in a specific way, you do accept, and then you pass in the class for representing the specific error you want to handle. Ah, that was a lot of talking. But yeah, that's basically it. Liam, you can stop sharing. Unless you want to actually do some code, then you can share it again. Up to you. But basically, that's some explanation. But let me know if you guys ever have questions or anything. I don't want to bore you guys too much with too much rambling on. But yeah, that was basically the AI brain, right? It holds the learning agent class. And it basically has one internal variable, Q table, representing the Q values. Get Q values is basically the getter. So it's a getter method. Basically, a getter method is basically there's some terminology in classes called getter and setters. While in Python, you don't really have private or public specifications for functions and methods. In uh, languages like C or C++ or Java, you guys have something called public or private. And getters and setters are basically internal class methods or functions. And you guys would basically set that as private, but it doesn't really matter for Python. Next, choose action chooses the action based on the Q values. The learn function basically learns and updates according to the Q learning formula. And then save model, loads and saves the AI models. And we have main and players AI. Let's do play versus AI first. Basically, this is the versus game. Basically integrates the AI brain and the Pong game. You guys can see it up here. We're importing the Pong game and the Q learning agent. And also Pygame, but that doesn't really matter. So one thing here, do you guys know what this is? This line. Have you guys ever seen this before? Now, if you guys want a comparison of what I'm talking about, you guys can see the difference between the two, right? Here and here. Do you guys know, have you guys ever seen this before or know what it is? On one side, so the right side is the class declaration that you guys have seen before, right? It's just class, the name of the class, and then colon. While the left side is class, the name of the class, and it somehow has this circle bracket and passes in this Pong game. And remember, the Pong game is a class that we already declared here. Anyone know what it is? Okay. Basically, it's something called, so basically it's a concept of object-oriented programming. It's something called inheritance. So basically, versus game inherits from the class Pong game. So Pong game is the parent class. Versus game is the child class inheriting from the Pong game. Now, you guys can see it even in the comments. Initialize the parent Pong game. Now, one thing about parents and children. Children classes can access functions from the parent classes even if we don't define it in here. What does that mean? I can basically run reset inside of here, and it knows what I'm talking about. Even though there's no reset inside this class. So this is basically what inheritance is. Just wanted to let you guys know. And in more modern code or bigger code bases within this, you guys will see like super dot init, I believe. Something like this. And this basically, you guys can define these variables inside of here or inherit them. But yeah, you guys will see that sometimes. Anyways, let's move on. Uh, Charlie, no. Nicholas, can you share your screen? And we'll continue on with versus game, and you can do init. Yeah. Let me accept you. You should see it now. Okay, so let's do init. You wanna... Oh, we do super here. Okay, let's... So I just showed you. Let's do super. Delete the past super function. To the right, do dot underscore underscore init. And that's a function. And you do visual equals true. So what does this do? Basically, you're defining that you want to inherit the variables that we have in the Pong game class into this versus game class. That's all you need to know. Self dot human underscore y. No dot. Equals self dot height. // 2. So integer division by 2. Next line. Self dot human score equals 0. Self dot AI score equals 0. Good. Okay, the next function is long. Let's just go to the next function, the render versus. Yeah, that one. Delete the pass. So basically, this render versus function is basically, as the title says, it's rendering. So you want to fill the background with a dark gray color. You want to draw the human. You want to draw the AI pedals. You want to draw the ball. You want to create the font and render the score. And you want to, yeah. Okay, so do self.screen.fill.
Shouldn't this def.main also be indented underneath the class, or?
Great question. So it would, okay, it would if we want a main function inside of versus game, but this specific main function is basically what function gets run when we call the play this executable.
Oh,
Or another way of saying it is we just want to separate this main function from the class because we don't want this class to have a main function. Make sense?
yeah.
So technically, we could just add another defined main function inside of versus game if we want. Once, my bad. Yeah. Let's continue. Self.screen.fill. Yep. And that's a function. And let's pass in a tuple. So do circle bracket again. Reason being we want to pass in a tuple of RGB. So it's going to be 30, 30, 30. So that's dark gray. Next line, you want to do pygame.draw .rect. So this is going to be a rectangle key, and then that's a function. And you pass in self.screen, comma. You want to pass in the tuple as well as the RGB. 0, comma. Sorry, this is going to be another color. So delete the 30s. You're going to do 0, comma, 150, comma, 255. You want to do another tuple actually inside of that. So comma right after the RGB. Yeah, you're gonna do 10, comma, self.human underscore y, comma, 10, 60. So that basically define 60, 60. This basically defines where the human pedal is. Next line. Actually, let's just copy that one line and then paste it on the second line. For this one, let's change the color. So it's going to be 255, comma 60. I mean 50, comma 50. Let's change the 10 to 380. Let's change, and yeah, let's change the human Y as pedal Y. And next line, let's actually paste it again. Next line. So instead of rectangle, you're going to do circle. And color is going to be 255, 255, 255. So this is the ball. You want it all white. And you want to replace 10 with int. Actually, yeah, delete that, everything inside the tuple. You're going to do int function int function, and we're passing in self.ball underscore x. Next argument is int function. No, right after the comma. Int function self.ball underscore y. Yep, and then that's gonna be hard to explain, so I'll do it. Comma 6, and that should be good. Next line. Actually, you can stop sharing now. Thank you for sharing. That was Nicholas, right? Okay. Then let's. Adam, can you share your screen again? And we'll do render versus. Continue on where we left off. Actually, Adam was Notepad, right? Never mind, you can skip this week. Or up to you, actually. Um,
It's open.
which one's open? The Notepad?
Yes.
Let's go to the GitHub page and open up play versus AI.py. You'll see a copy button. Copy it,
Okay.
and then paste it in this Pong.py, Ponggame.py in the Notepad. Oh, wait. I didn't. Never mind. But
What?
yeah. No, nothing.
Where
Because
is it?
I sent the link in the chat. Because Adam, I remember you being the one using Replit, right? Are you not using Replit anymore? So render versus. Yep, down. Delete the pass. Let's just continue where he left off. So do font equals pygame dot font dot capital S YS capital F ONT. That's a function. ONT, yeah. TT. ONT. So that represents system font. And you're gonna, first argument is a string. Uh, no, like the quotation. Arial, capital A. No, delete the string. Capital A, uh, RIAL.
How do you spell it?
ARIAL. ARIAL. Yeah. Closing the quotation, comma, 24. Basically, we're using the Arial font and the font size is 24. Next line, you're going to do score underscore text equals font dot render function circle bracket f string f f quotation f needs to be to the left of the quotation, lowercase f. Yep. So you're gonna do YOU colon space curly bracket self dot human score yep, and then space AI outside the curly bracket. AI colon self uh, curly bracket self dot AI score. Next line self dot screen dot blit function score underscore text comma tuple, so circle bracket. Inside is the self dot width width integer division / 2 minus 70 comma 10. Next line. Next line. Pygame dot display dot flip. And that's the function. And you can stop sharing. Okay. Can we change the font to something else if you want to? Yes, absolutely. And you can change the font size. You can also change how many episodes you guys train. You guys can change the epsilon value, the learning rate, discount rate, so the alpha gamma. You guys can also change the epsilon value. But yeah, you guys can change the size of the Pong game, etc. Okay, I think we should stop there for this week. Then let's watch a Fireshare video and then do a book it. Let me also stop recording.